Welcome. My name is Michael Tagler, Associate Professor of Psychological Science, Chair of the IRB at Ball State. I'm helping researchers transition from IRBnet to our new human subjects research platform called Cayuse Human Ethics. This video will demonstrate how to properly prepare a modification for a previously approved IRBnet study. As demonstrated in a previous video, your first task here is to download and save your study documents in IRBnet. For the example in this video, I need to submit a modification for an IRBnet study called Social Psychological Attitudes and Motivations. From the designer in IRBnet, download copies of all your previously approved documents: application, data security form, consent forms, questionnaires, recruiting messages. Important, also download a copy of your approval letter, which can be found under Reviews, and download that approval letter. Organize all these documents into a file on your local computer. We will need these when we move over into Cayuse. For this example, I'm going to submit a simple but typical modification in which I have some changes to research personnel, number of participants, and some recruitment procedures. In the Cayuse Ethics platform, begin as usual by selecting the plus New Study button. Title this submission the exact same title as the approved IRBnet study. Begin by clicking on the plus New Submission button. Notice your only option will be to do an initial submission. Click Edit. The very first question is where you indicate that you are doing a modification from a previously approved IRBnet study. As we progress, the task here is going to be to complete this application with all the details from the IRBnet approved protocol, but to also clearly label and describe our proposed modifications. When we get to a section or question where we need to describe the modification, we're going to try to use a corresponding text box to describe, and we will either capitalize or bold the proposed modification to get the IRB analysts and reviewers' attention. Again, our task is to try to be as clear as we can about where the modifications are compared to what was previously approved. I'm going to indicate myself as the PI on this study, which is exactly the same as it was on the original protocol. And I also had a co-investigator, and I will add that individual. Now, if I have any changes to personnel that are Ball State University individuals with Cayuse access, I can go ahead and add them in here. So any new researchers or additional researchers. Now, if they are folks without Cayuse accounts, for example, maybe some undergraduates in your research lab, we have a text box here for adding those individuals. This is where I would clearly distinguish anyone who's being removed from the protocol and any new personnel. So as an example, let me paste in information on an undergraduate research assistant that was previously on the study and approved but now they're going to be removed from further work on this study, and I might have a new undergraduate research assistant here. So again, try to clearly distinguish changes where in a relevant text box. And it certainly doesn't hurt to bold, format it in strategic ways to get the IRB analyst and reviewer's attention. As I progress through the application, here's another location where a modification is going to be demonstrated. So imagine I previously was approved to collect data from 100 participants, but now I want to increase my number of participants to 200. I could indicate that in this box. 100 participants, previously approved, 100 additional planned, 200 total. As an example of an updated recruitment procedures, what I want to do here is indicate that I am recruiting, for example, from my Ball State participants. Imagine originally I was just recruiting students, but they were in a department recruitment pool. So we have a SONA pool over in psychology. But imagine that's already approved, and my modification is I'm also going to recruit more broadly through the BSU Communication Center. So I'll go ahead and check both because I'm still going to use the original and this new method of recruitment. What I need to do is describe that in the text box below. So I'm going to paste a description here where you can see clearly labeling for the IRB analyst and reviewers what my currently approved recruitment was and my proposed modification, which is to also recruit participants from the BSU Communication Center. Provide any additional details you feel are needed there. And notice there's an attachment point here. So I can attach my original recruitment message and the new comm center one that I'm also proposing to use in this modified procedure. On the very last screen is where you will upload as attachments your previously approved IRBnet documents. So you'll see an other attachment point here. And for a modification, please include your original application from IRBnet. I have an informed consent document. Please include your data security form, any questionnaires, and your approval letter. In addition, you might have other documents that were approved. Lastly, upload a document summarizing exactly what your proposed modifications are. At the beginning of this video, I showed you this document, which was a brief memo describing the modifications to my protocol. My new research personnel with some details, my change in participant number, and my change in recruitment procedure, and also there's going to be a new consent form I indicated on here. So also add a document like that to this attachment point. At this point, be sure to complete the submission. The PI must certify this submission. So if the PI is the one filling out the form, they can proceed to do so automatically. Otherwise, the PI will be notified that they will need to come into the system and certify. After it's certified, you should see the study in the stage of pre-review, stage 3 here. You'll be notified when an IRB analyst pre-reviews your submission. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me on this process or the Office of Research Integrity. My email is mjtagler@bsu.edu. Thank you.